you do to switch off if you're one of those people who overthink late at night. In this video, we will look at some of those practicalities that I use for myself and in some of the client work that I do for people whose minds are very active and they often get to bed and revisit every single thing that happened to them during the day or plan ahead for the future and do that in their heads instead of really being able to switch off and get to sleep. Hi there, my name is Beatrix Schmidt from the sleepdeepmethod.com. As a sleep coach and speaker, a lot of my work evolves around giving practical tips and advice to people who struggle with insomnia. So if you're looking for these kind of tips, hit the subscribe button below and come back each week, watch my videos and put those practicalities in place so that you can improve your sleep and overcome your insomnia as well. During a lot of my work, either during talks or one-to-one work as well, I come across professionals whose minds are very, very active. They think about a lot of the things that either happened to them during that particular day or thinking about what are those potential things that might happen to them the next day. And therefore, often when they get to bed and it's all quiet around them, what they end up doing is they end up thinking about a lot of these things, which stops them either to be able to get to sleep, or when they wake up in the middle of the night and they go into this kind of thinking scenario, they can't get back into sleep again. If you have been struggling with your sleep consistently for a long period of time and you feel exhausted almost every single day, it's really important for you not to self-diagnose yourself and seek actual medical help with your sleep, because you might actually have a medical sleep disorder that is not going to be helped by some of these practical tips that I give you. So it's really important to understand exactly where you're at with your sleep. And if it is a really extreme sleep problem, go seek help for it and have an actual proper assessment. So let's get into the practicalities and I'll share with you some of those tools and techniques that worked for me because I'm very much a thinker type personality, or worked really well for my clients who are also very similar. So the first thing is really acknowledging the fact that, are you a thinker? Or is it that, you fit into just a normal bracket of someone who sometimes thinks about things that happen to them? And I think some of the client work that I do, it's quite clear when somebody is definitely a type of person who processes a lot of the things in their head instead of maybe reaching out for help and discussing things with another person. So I think the first step here is truly recognizing what kind of personality type you are, because that's going to have an impact on the type of sleep tools and techniques that you might need to put in place. I'm definitely a thinker, and one of the reasons I have developed insomnia at the time in my 20s was because when I got to bed, I was thinking about all those things that happened to me. I revised some of those things that I might have been able to do better, some of the mistakes I have made, some of the conversations I would have had with people. And I think I was very much living in my head. So I can definitely tell when someone else, a client, is like that as well. So pause for a moment and have a little think about whether or not you are that kind of personality type. One of the main things that I see when it comes to the practicalities of helping you to sleep, either get to sleep really easily or sleep through the night with this kind of thinker type personality, is doing your best to get all those thoughts out of your head. Now, this doesn't mean that you need to share it with other people, because I know even myself, I don't often want to share everything with someone else, but it's important to get those things out of your head, because that's how we can actually rest, relax and switch off when our mind is peaceful as well. So some of the things that I have tested out over the years, some of them that helped me, some of them that didn't help me. One of the main things was that I do tend to journal. So I would pick up a notebook, I would pick up a pen or a pencil, and I would actually spend some time journaling about things that happened, about what are the things I could have done better, or what are the things that maybe I need to prepare for. And this is not about self-judging ourselves. It's not about breaking down the solutions to a problem. It's just letting it out and writing it out. Because the actual physical action of writing and the muscle tension and releasing that tension can be done through writing. And there are some research indicating that journaling, for example, is a great way to relax the mind as well as the body. So this is one of the things that worked really well, and it worked for a lot of my other clients as well. Because when you spend 20 minutes in the evening really letting those thoughts come out and putting them on paper, you are releasing them. Whether or not you believe it or not, I have definitely seen the proof that it does really work. But the bottom line here is not to do it too close to going to bed and going to sleep, because of course if you do it straight before bed, what it's going to do is it's actually probably going to trigger even more thinking around a topic that you're revisiting. So I would suggest doing it quite early on in the evening, away from your bedtime routine or away from your time to get to bed, because it's going to create that space between processing all of those things and you focusing on getting to sleep. Another great way for this thinker type personality to be able to switch off in the evening easier and get back to sleep if they wake up in the middle of the night is really training your body to be able to stop those thought processing happen so automatically, consistently, and all the time. And this is one of the things, again, that resonated with me at the time when I was really struggling with my sleep, because I wasn't able to stop my thought processes. I wasn't able to actually really truly switch off. They just kept on rolling and going to visit one topic after another, and it becomes this big thinking process late at night or in the middle of the night. And if you're a thinker, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So one of the things that I've learned over the years is how I can actually be more in charge of my processes. That means my thinking process as well. So for example, if you actually start thinking about perhaps something you've done during the day and you go into that and you revisit the moments of that process, how can you actually pause and let yourself let it go, rather than complete that cycle and come to the end of that story? I do hope that this makes sense, and this is going to be something that you need to continuously practice, because it's not easy for us thinkers to just randomly stop thinking. But it is definitely something that practically you can do if you continue to practice stopping your thoughts during the day as well as when it comes to you at night. The last part I wanted to share with you in this topic of switching off, if you're a thinker type personality, is very much linked to what goes on with the emotions when you're awake in the middle of the night, not able to get into sleep. A lot of the times what I find with clients is that the frustrations come and we start thinking about it in a different way. Rather than just accepting that we are a thinker type personality, we start thinking, I just wish that I wasn't like this. And you start going against and perhaps even self-punishing yourself for being that way. I think a lot of the times accepting how we are helps us to be able to relax a lot of the things around our behavior. So if this happens to you at night and you get frustrated about your racing thoughts, one of the really good ways to sort of really get relaxed about it is just to say that, there are good sides to thinking, but this time of the night, I'm choosing not to think about it anymore. I'm choosing to actually let it go, and I need to get back to sleep. Again, this can be really tricky, and I've seen it time and time again, but you can make that conscious choice and almost self-talk yourself into getting back into sleep. So, and this follows really nicely on from the previous point I mentioned. You need to train yourself to let go of those negative emotions that might surround this awake at night and thinking at night, because it will help you to relax and it will help you to get back into sleep easier. obviously this is just a short video on this topic. And what I would love to hear is, if you are this type of personality who thinks quite a lot and it might be waking you up in the night, or it keeps you awake at night, what are some of those things that actually really helped you to maybe have better night sleeps every so often? So use the comment box below and let me know what are those maybe tools and techniques that you put in place that really has helped you to have better sleep at night. Because, many different people have many different ways of dealing with these things. So it's great to share some of those practicalities that might have worked for you. Did you like this video? If you did, hit the like button below, subscribe to my channel and share it with a friend or family member that you think thinks about things at night and it stops them to sleep. This will just help them to get some practicalities in place so that they can start improving their sleep as well. Thank you so much for watching, and come back next week for yet another video on more practical sleep tips so that you can improve your sleep and even overcome your insomnia if that's what you're struggling with.